Balitang Rational. Good morning, Pilipinas, and welcome to another edition of Balitang Rational. For this video, allow me to use English and Tagalog as our medium of instruction. Sisimulan natin ng pag-simplify yung ating given rational expression by considering that we cannot use the cancellation law. Baka kasi yung iba sa atin will try to cancel the c or variable c on the first terms of the numerator and denominator. At saka yung iba baka kakancel nila yung variable d that can be found in both second terms of numerators and denominators. Take note, we cannot use here the cancellation law kasi yung mga terms natin sa numerator at denominator are separated by addition or subtraction. We can only use the cancellation law kung ang ating operation are under multiplication. Kasi nga, yung complete name ng cancellation law is cancellation law for multiplication. So ano ang ating gagawin dito? Yung gagawin natin is we are going to factor both numerators and denominators to a possibility or kung ano ang dapat na factoring method na pwedeng gamitin. Kaya nga dito, before we start here, dapat alam natin yung mga techniques ng factoring. When you look at our numerator, we can see that we have a common coefficient. Okay? So let's try to equate this. Yung common coefficient natin is 5. Okay? Itong 5 is ating i-factor out at saka yung matitira is still a binomial. So when we remove 5 from 5c, we are left with c. And if we are going to remove 5 to 5d, we still have d on our second term. This is the common monomial factoring. Okay? Now, when we go to our denominator, you might notice that there is a square here for the variable c. And baka yung iba sa atin mag-iisip na baka yung difference of two squares yan, or we can look for other factoring which involves squaring. Now, the difference of two squares from the name itself, dapat subtraction yung operation na nag-separate sa mga terms. At saka, it should be given that the second term should also be a perfect square. But here, yung second term natin kasi is CD, and CD is not a perfect square. Hence, we cannot jump into conclusion na gagamitin natin dito yung difference of two squares. In short, we'll still stick with the common monomial factoring. The common monomial factoring here is for C. Okay? So when we factor out c, we still have a binomial here. Yung c squared, hindi magiging 2, okay? Kasi that's a multiplication. C squared means there are 2 c's. So we still have 1c or c remaining here. And yung matitira sa ating second term when we factor out c is d. Okay? Now that we are done with factoring, notice that the factors here from the name itself, all of them are separated by multiplication. We have in our numerator 5 times the binomial expression c plus d. In our denominator, we also have c times the same binomial expression c plus d. And by the way, before makalimutan natin, tinatawag itong rational expression kasi we have variables that can be found in both numerators or denominators. Even expressions with only denominators, variables and denominators, it could also be called as a rational expression. But nevertheless, our goal here is to simplify. Now that we are done simplifying, again, we are sure that it's under multiplication. We can now use here the cancellation law. Cancellation law, looking into the perspective that we have c plus d here and c plus d here as well. Cancellation law works on the similar coefficients, variables, or terms that can be found in both numerators and denominators that are separated by the operation of multiplication. Now that we are done with that, our final answer here is just simply yung mga natitirang terms at coefficients. So we have the result here for this expression starting with the original 5c plus 5d all over c squared plus cd. The result in its simplified form is just simply 5 over c. So ito po ang buong kwento ng video nito. Lester Lou Sigumpan, nagbabalita for Balitang Rational. Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, i-like at i-share ang video ito. Maraming salamat!